Okay, so when I was 4 years old, my parents decided to bring me on holiday to Blackpool to see the illuminations. It was my first big holiday with my parents. I was so excited. I was only about 4, but it was about October and the time of year, October, November time. We got there. We ended up going into a small B&B. It was lovely. I, being a 4-year-old, wanted to go on the beach. As soon as seeing the beach, I was so excited. I wanted to go on the beach. But it was October. It was cold. My parents were like, no, you're going to freeze if you go on down to the beach. I was like, no, but, I was shaking. I was so excited. I wanted to go on the beach. They're like, no, you can't go on the beach. It's too cold. So, in the end, they reluctantly took me down to the beach. And I was like, Mum, Dad, I want to go in the sea. And they were like, no, it's too cold. And if you've ever been to Blackpool, you know it goes quite far out at Blackpool. So my dad was like, why don't we run in this puddle instead? It's it'll be all right. So he takes his socks and shoes off and he sort of runs through it. It only goes up to about his ankles. So I'm there. I'm like, I'm really excited to go in this puddle. I've seen the illuminations. I'm like, I want to go in the puddle. So I take my socks off. I had little buckle-up shoes on, took my little buckle-up shoes off, rolled my trousers up, was bracing myself for this cold, wet, soggy puddle, as all kids would love to jump into it. I run up to it. I'm literally there. I'm like, oh. In I went, and up to my knees it came. My whole trousers absorbed just all the water from the puddle. Then the immediate reaction, the true human function kicked in of shivering. I was chilly, shivering, and my teeth started going, like chattering. So there I was shaking, and my mum and my dad turned to me and they said, listen, you've got to get out. It's too cold. You're going to catch something if you stay in there. Plus, we're going for dinner afterwards, so we need to get you some new trousers on before we go to dinner. You can't sit there soggy in a restaurant. So we went. So I was reluctantly stood there going, it's not cold, Dad. It's refreshing. And this went on for about 4 minutes. Come out. You need to come out now. No, it's refreshing. So they finally get me out. They persuade me to the fact that we're going to dinner, and the cold sea air, you've smelt the sea air, the salt hits you, makes you hungry. So I was getting hungry, so I came out, and we went and found myself some new trousers. So I ended up I chose them myself, and I remember them to this day. They were pink and sparkly. And we went for dinner, which was brilliant. And then after that, I always thought twice about jumping in a puddle.